within the interstices of the state stole the file because he had been bought off. Now, nobody has been arrested for hiding that file. Okay, so if it is the same people that we expect to suddenly turn coat and be seen to be supporting the president's fight, then nothing is going to happen in the long term. That leads me to my second point about this generalized conversation.
But before your second point, do you have hope that people who are said to be within this government, who are also part of the kingpins, will be fished out and dealt with?
No. And that ties to you are really very smart, Samson, because it ties into my second point.
Okay, then let's hear it.
This noise about declare a state of emergency and the argument that we haven't exhausted all the avenues. Declaring a state of emergency will not work if it is the same people who must ensure that the state of emergency is implemented. Because they've been in the system, they failed, and suddenly we think by the stroke of the pen from the president, they should become effective, they should become loyal to the state, they should turn their institutions around to be able to deliver the public goods. No, it doesn't work that way.
If it will make no difference and it meant no big deal, why is the president hesitant in declaring state of emergency?
Because it's the same people who have been there the last 10 years, who are still within the state apparatus, who are going to get a state of emergency to work or not to work.
Yeah, that's my point. If it is just a matter of nomenclature and it doesn't mean anything, the president, the government will rather declare it than suffer the backlash it is getting for not declaring it.
No. Because if he declares and nothing happens, I mean, can't even worsen the situation. Because a state of emergency is very particular. Okay,
this is not a laughing matter, but we are laughing.
Because we've been joking with this for such a long time. Who within the public sector who has been part of this canker that we are talking about has been punished? The AG tells us, to go back to the Akunta mining thing, that the docket got lost. How? And suddenly the docket reappears. Because I've been questioning the timing of putting people before statutory institutions when governments change. When did we get access to these facts? My final point relates to the talk about guns. When you have your statutory security forces who follow a minister to a mining site and they are outgunned, the symbolism in that is that, look, we can take on the state. Okay, so we've got to ask ourselves, how do we want to deal with this?
Prof, before you leave us, just tell us in 1 minute something you have told us over and again. And last week I had a retired military officer also, telling us about the national security implications of these pictures we are seeing of galamseyers, getting armed all over the country, so armed that it gets to a point, places are declared red zones, and the state security is even not able to access these places because of armed thugs. What's the danger?
Well, the danger is that the state's capacity and willingness to protect itself and to protect the tools that it needs to protect itself are basically non-existent. So Samson, give me about 2 months. My team and I will be going to the field to do the third baseline survey, looking at the number of guns that are unregistered in Ghana, looking at the state of our magazines and our armories. And then we'll be able to come out with a specific figure that tells us what type of guns are available, who has what, in which region, and in what district. Already,
should we expect a militia that would terrorize us?
I think it's important that we don't frighten the listeners. So that I will share with you privately.
Thank you very much.
There are two studies. There are several studies. One, that one part or one group from Italy, an Italian mafia, brings in enough dirty money to buy gold. So this is free consultancy for the national intelligence and then the financial intelligence. Okay? One Italian mafia group brings in dirty money to buy gold, takes it, sells it wherever, cleans the money, and takes it back to Europe. That's number one. Number two, we know, and it's proven beyond doubt, that with the exception of Mali, Ghana is the second country, gold producing country, in which the leakages are massive. Okay, now, I think Elika might be able to tell us, but the initial calculation shows that about $2 to $2.5 billion worth of illicit small-scale gold oozes out of the system every year. That leads to organized criminal groups having an interest in ensuring that whatever NAIMOS is achieving right now will be resisted. And I can tell you that there's going to be resistance. And that is why I think we need to bring this.
Thank you. Thank you very much.